Hi guys! So in the previous video, we already covered on the user experience in the context of user interface. Now, we are going to look into the component of usability. Okay, so stay tuned! Okay, do you remember the phases in developing the concept of the user interface? There is a design stage, and then there's a modeling stage, and then there's the testing stage. During the testing stage, you are highly recommended to assess the usability of the product. You have to get the answers or feedback from the user as in, senang ke pakai, berkesan ke produk ni, the kind of question that you have to ask your user. But really, how do you measure usability? Macam mana nak kira keberkesanan? Quantitatively, the usability aspect can be measured by using the usability matrix. The matrix is a standard measure to calculate the main quality of usability of your product. So you can include these three items in measuring the usability, which is its effectiveness, its efficiency, and also its satisfaction. The first element that we measure in usability is its effectiveness. The effectiveness measures the accuracy of the product, as in how effective the user operate your product to perform the intended task. Okay, let's take example of this 3D printer. 3D printer lagi. So, well, that's the only thing in my room, so I will keep on using that as an example. Okay, the main task of this 3D printer is to print a 3D object from this filament. Okay, so the task is when you want to measure the usability in the context of effectiveness, you have to check how many of the user or the participant during the testing, how many of them manage to print a 3D object by using this prototype machine. Okay? One of the methods to measure effectiveness is based on the number of respondents who manage to complete the task given. In this case, effectiveness is calculated by dividing the number of participants who successfully complete the task to the total number of people who took the test and multiply it with 100% to get the percentage value. Let's say the people here are our respondents. Some have successfully completed the task, while some may not be able to complete the task. The next step is to get the total amount of respondents who managed to complete the task, which in this case is 6 people, while the total of respondents is 8 people. We multiply this with 100 and we will get the effectiveness to be 75%. The higher value indicate higher product effectiveness. You may ask the respondents to perform different tasks on the same product. For example, with the 3D printer, some other tasks may include changing the setting of the machine or inserting the filament into the extruder nozzle and so on. The effectiveness for different tasks can be compared to one another using the bar graph as shown. Another way to measure effectiveness is based on the number of errors instead. For example, if you ask the participant to perform one single task, how many errors are there? Study by previous researchers have found that the average number of error of a single task, for example, take this mouse, okay? The task is to click the left mouse button. So, the number of error in a single task of clicking the left mouse button is about 70%. Okay, that's quite high. So in a way, this study suggested that it is perfectly normal for people to make error when performing the task involving the product. The second measure of usability is its efficiency. Efficiency is related to the time taken to complete the task. For example, normally it would take me around 10 minutes to set up this 3D printer. So these are the measures that you need to include when calculating for efficiency. The formula for efficiency is as shown. Oh dear, looks like there is a lot of impression in the equation. Okay, chill down, relax. Let's look at it one by one. Basically, the equation involved the successfulness of the respondents to complete the task. If he or she managed to complete the task, then the n value here would be 1. If they did not manage to complete the task, then the n value would be 0. Araso? The next impression is T. T represents the time taken for that particular respondent to complete the task. 1 minute ka, 2 minute ka, 1 hour ka, it depends on the respondents. You have to total the ratio for every respondent. The total summation then have to be divided to the number of tasks as in capital N and the number of participants as in capital R. Let's look at an example of calculating efficiency. Assuming your group have developed the prototype of a vending machine for your faculty. Dah ada T live lah sekarang dekat FPTT. Anyway, you wanted to test the efficiency of your vending machine. So, you call up 3 people to test your prototype. You ask them to order some junk food or chickadees from your vending machine. Jamil managed to order a super ring in 1 minute. Kiko managed to order a bottle of Coke in 3 minutes. Larry, unfortunately, did not manage to place any order and he gave up after 5 minutes. Now, only Jamil and Kiko successfully managed to complete the task. For those who managed to complete the task, their N here would be 1. As for Larry, since he could not complete his task, then the N value for Larry would be 0. The time taken for Jamil and Kiko to complete the task is 1 minute and 3 minutes respectively. As for Larry, although he did not manage to complete the task, but then the time taken for him to try attempting the task is 5 minutes. So his T here would be 5. So if we put all the information in the formula on the upper part of the equation, we sum up the ratio of successfulness to the time taken for each individual, by which N over T for Jamil is 1 over 1, plus with the ratio of Kiko, which is 1 over 3, and plus with the ratio of Larry, which is 0 over 5. As the lower part of the equation, capital N is the number of tasks given. In this case, there's only one task, so the N would be 1. The capital R represent number of participants involved with the tests. In this case, only Jamil, Kiko and Larry are involved, so the R would be 3. Using your calculator, and you will get time-based efficiency of 0.44. This calculation means that goals or tasks is achieved in estimated 0.44 goals per minute. The third measure of usability is satisfaction. How satisfied are you with the product that you use? For example, how satisfied am I with this phone? I'm very satisfied with it. I love it. The quantitative value of satisfaction can be obtained from a standardized questionnaire. Researchers have made your life so much easier that when you want to test the usability of the product, you just refer to a standard set of questionnaire. Dah tak payah susah-susah nak merangka soalan-soalan survey kan. So you just use the standard version. There are 2 types of questionnaire. The first type measure satisfaction on specific tasks. It is called task level satisfaction. After the participants perform the task given, questionnaire are given to assess difficulty of the user in performing the task. The second one measure the satisfaction in the context of test level. In this case, after the overall test session by which participants have completed all the given tasks, which may be more than one, they are given the final questionnaire to assess the overall perception on using the product. For the task level questionnaires, here are some examples you can refer to. Most of it is searchable or available online. Let's take an example. In the After Scenario Questionnaire, or ASQ, there are 3 standard questions or expressions to measure user satisfaction. The first expression is related to the ease of completing the task given. The second expression is related to the satisfaction of the time taken to complete the task. And the third expression is related to the support information available. Responses to this expression can be attained or collected by using the Likert scale as shown. The second example of questionnaire are subjective mental effort questionnaire. In this case, participants' response are measured through a single scale with 9 labels, from not at all hard to do to tremendously hard to do as shown. Using this scale, participants are asked to draw a vertical line to indicate how much effort they need to do mentally to perform the given task. Now, here are examples of test level satisfaction questionnaires to measure user satisfaction on the overall use of the product. Similarly, most of it is searchable or available online. For example, in the System Usability Scale or SUS, using the Likert scale as shown, participants are asked of standard questions on the overall use of the product. There's 10 questions overall, so you just look through the list in the PDF file provided. Another example using the SuperQ questionnaire, this type of questionnaire are more suitable to measure satisfaction on virtual navigation or websites. 8 standard questions covered responses on usability, credibility, loyalty, and appearance. After you have conducted the usability test, normally you will be dealing with so many responses and different opinions. Maybe ada yang suka your product, some other may not like it. So the prioritization metric is being used to identify what is the most important problems and helps the team to collectively agree in making decision. The prioritization matrix is also known as impact versus effort metric, and it is an activity that should involve the whole team in making the final decision. Okay, here are the steps in creating the prioritization metric or the prioritization chart. During the discussion, the team members have to individually come out with the items or ideas that they think the team should prioritize. The items can range from projects to new ideas or design features to be implemented and so on. They should then write out their ideas in a post-it notes as shown. Later, all the team member will look at the notes and vote it based on their experience. For the first voting session, team members need to measure the impact of that particular idea for the user. For example, people in the marketing team would understand the user needs. So, if that particular idea have high impact to the user, so they would vote using a special colored sticker. Let's say I put orange color sticker for that. Now, the second element they need to vote is based on the effect. The effect is measured by the effort required by the organization. If it is achievable and it is within the capacity of the company, then they would vote it using different colored sticker. Let's say we put green colored sticker for this purpose. Next, we need to draw the impact effort chart or the prioritization chart and place the respective post-it notes in respective region of the chart. Look at idea 1. It have the highest vote on users' impact and the highest vote when it comes to the effort required by the organization. So, it will be placed here. The remaining ideas should also be placed in the respective columns of the prioritization metric. Based on the newest placement, we can see that idea number 1 is the idea that the team should prioritize, and that is how decisions are being made. So, we have covered on the user experience in the context of usability. Remember the product you selected in the previous exercise, the user interface exercise? Now, why don't you look into the usability aspect, measure its effectiveness, measure its efficiency, and measure your user satisfaction? Ask yourself random questions from the questionnaire. Okay, let's share your thought in the forum provided. Till then, see you in the next series. Adios, amigos.